Okay. All right. You can see you're pretty wide right there. I'll show you how to measure that out. We'll practice it on the field. It's not a big deal. Your feet look nice and even. If you kind of reference that line, you're in pretty good shape. Your knees are in pretty good shape. You're back behind your toes there, which is good. Okay, now here's where you got to get this fixed. Let me try this again. So your toes look good. Your knees are behind your toes. That's totally fine. You know you're too wide. We'll get it fixed. Okay. I'd love to see you get a little bit more bend in your knee. Okay. Just a little bit. I'll help you do it. So we're going to try to get our tail down a little bit. This gap looks good. You've got room. All right. Let me make sure we're okay. Your grip, we have got to get your grip straightened out. Okay. We're going to look because when we warmed up, you were throwing a decent spiral. But right here, your hand's not in a position to do that. When you're snapping the football, your dominant hand, your right hand, is in the exact same position. Even the wrist angle is exactly the same as if you're throwing me a pass if we're playing sandlot or whatever, or passing a practice or something. Yeah, yeah. So you can see the difference. Like I can see a lot of leather right here under your stripe. You don't want that. And I'll show you how to get your hands on the ball. We got to get that fixed. So lower tail, more narrow base. This is good. Your back is decent, but I can see your shirt's really hanging down right there. See that? We're going to tuck your shirt in real crazy tight in the front and get it where it's not hanging down in your way. Then you can tuck your chin right there and hold the golf ball. Does that make sense? It's sort of like doing a double chin thing. So your stuff is basically stance stuff and hand stuff right now. Oh, another thing. This football, you don't want your ball flat and you don't want it standing up on the end. So I usually say something like between maybe like 30 and 45 degrees. And that's not exact, but you get the drift. You're going to have a little bit more tilt on the ball. Okay, now here you can see your finish. Your right hand comes hard, and your left did too for a sec. But watch your left hand kind of get back out of there real fast. See it? You're just going to hold both of them back there. The right hand finish is good. We just got to make the left match. That's it. Your balance is good. You're not falling off. All right. I mean, I think it's pretty solid. I think it's okay. So you got the ball on the ground, which is good. Okay, I get you. I really think you're just dropping your head through because your shirt's baggy. I really think that's what it is. So, like we talked about on the side, it's almost going to look like you're in a straight line and your head would touch that blue line. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Your right arm position, you got too much bend in your elbow. So I'm going to back you up away from the ball, maybe 2 or 3 inches, and see if we can get that fixed. Okay. And it might be a little more than that because I'm going to have you bend your knees, remember, and all that kind of stuff, and cut your base down. So you're going to feel a little bit weird when we go back out and start working on this. But if you'll stick with me, it'll make sense, I promise. We'll go over it. Okay, so again, that left hand comes out quick. Actually, right there, your left hand's off the ball. You want to try to keep them, not really keep them on there as long as you can, but you want them to do the same thing. So, like, think about a tug of war. You're not going to pull with your right hand and not pull as hard with your left. You're going hard every time, and we're gonna use both hands to pull that football like simultaneously. You want them to really go together, and that'll keep you from going side to side too. You know what I mean? But that you get your hands out too quick. Just kind of get in the habit of holding that. You watch on Joseph's film, he kind of does that. And I don't know if you've always done that or you just started doing it after camp last time. But holding that, I kind of look at my arms and my hands sort of like a barrel on a rifle. And the longer I can reach back toward the target, it stands to reason that I'm going to have a little better shot at hitting what I'm trying to hit. You know what I mean? You don't want to punch at it. And right now you're kind of stabbing and going. And look, that's still right down the middle. You're a little bit high, but I mean, that's a straight ball. But it almost turns into a one-handed snap right here. You know what I mean? Those hands ought to be coming off a little closer at the same time. Does that make sense? Good balance, though. So, okay. All right, Timmy. You're wide, that's for sure. I'm still going to keep you wide because you're a big guy, but we're going to cut it down a little bit, okay? Now, one thing, like I was talking about with the hands, there's 4 grips that I would call traditional grips, and I'll show you when we get back outside, but you'll have the back seam here, back seam on your middle finger, back seam here like split finger, index and middle, index on the line, any of those are fine. But what you're going to find with your quarterback grip with your dominant hand and then your guide hand, your thumbs are almost going to be parallel. So like on that one right there, you're showing me, pull your left thumb down more. Yep. Okay. Make them parallel. Yep. Looks pretty good. You want them pretty close to parallel. Okay. So right here, your left thumb's kind of pointing up into the palm of your right hand. We're going to mess around with that and take a look. I also noticed, Timmy, one time you got down and you snapped with your index finger on the back seam. Then the next time you got down, you moved it over quite a bit. You're not doing the same thing every time. So I would like to have maybe 1 or 2, maybe even 3 grips you like that you can practice with and see what rotates the best for you. I'd say right here at that point, it's become a one-handed snap. That left hand should stay longer, and we'll practice it. That finish isn't bad. Your hands are more up than out, but that clip, well, they keep jumping. If you would get your palms out to the sides right there, that's about exactly what you want. Okay. It's just we've got to get your grip straight and we've got to keep the left hand on the ball longer. Okay. We're gonna find a way to get you to use that left hand.